Hi, I'm Midge Shoemaker, and today is day 64 of my doing 100 days of YouTube videos and focusing on recognizing God's hands in my life. So, yay for day 64. Uh, Today was kind of a roller coaster emotional day for me, and part of the roller coaster emotional part I didn't really fully understand. So, in part, I think I'm still kind of reeling from my weekend of not doing things, which makes me just kind of hard on myself. And then I was just taking everything personally today, which is just frustrating when I do that because I know I don't have to, but I do it anyway. Um, but trying to see the positive and trying to recognize God's hand in my life helps me to kind of get through that and to remind myself that I don't have to take things personally, that it's okay that I make mistakes today. I can learn from my mistakes and it's going to be okay. I even found myself praying to remind myself, just asking God to help me remember that it's okay to make mistakes and to learn from them, and I don't have to dwell on them and I don't have to beat myself up for them. So I'm so grateful to have had the presence of mind to pray for that. And I'm also very grateful that I got to leave work. Not leave work. I was going to say leave work early, but I didn't leave work early. I just got to leave work at closing time instead of having to stay later to finish up stuff. And I have stayed later. I like staying later because it means I get more hours in my paycheck. So I don't mind staying later, but I was having such an emotional day today that when they said I could go at closing time, I'm like, all right, see ya, I'm out of here. So I was grateful to go, and I was able to go take care of something I needed to stand up for myself, and I was so proud of myself for that. I was like, yay, I did it. And I'm also very grateful to the person I had to go deal with today for putting up with me and listening to me and letting me ramble. So yay for that as well. I'm very grateful for that too. So I just feel very, very blessed. I went to the bank to deal with something that happened on Friday and had to do a dispute and a whole bunch of stuff. And the guy there was just really nice and let me vent and talk about my whole thing. And basically, I was writing in my journal and I feel like I kind of got tricked into something, which is not unusual for me because I'm just gullible and I just believe people and I think people are nice and honest. And then I agree to things because I think that they're being honest with me. And then I realize as I think about it or I find something different that it's not what they said that I was getting, and it's um, not a good deal. So trying to undo something that I that I started on Friday and then I didn't want to finish it, and I told them I didn't want to finish it and they said it was too late, it's a done deal, and I was like, not really how that works. So still trying to sort that out, but at least I'm doing something. I'm taking positive steps towards resolving the issue, and so I am grateful for that as well. And grateful for the guy at the bank that was willing to help me sort it out and figure it out, and for his patience with me today. So I know God was with me helping me do that. And I'm also very grateful for my friend, my editing friend, Temple friend, that we chatted on the phone today. And I just listened to her stuff and was able to validate what was going on in her life. And then I was able to share some of my stuff. And then as I was talking to her, I was like, you know what? I'm okay with this. I'm okay with this. And part of it was just hours. Like there's another new hire starting 3 weeks after me, which is fine. They need to hire more people. They hire more people. I have no control over that. I have no problem with that. It's just that I noticed her hours on the schedule, and she's getting to come in earlier than I did my first week. And she was still at work today when I was being told I could go home because there was nothing else for me to do. So she was getting, again, more hours than I got my first week. So I was a little bit jealous of that. But as I was talking to my friend, I realized that it doesn't matter what her hours are. Because I've been grateful for the hours I've had. I've been grateful to not have to go in that early my first week, to allow myself time to adjust to the early morning hours because I'm not a morning person. So I feel very blessed in that. And I am very grateful that I was able to leave at closing time and not have to stay late today because I did need to go take care of that thing with the bank. And I'm so grateful I was able to do that today. So things are working out the way that I need them to in my life. And so I don't need to focus on what's going on with someone else because then it just gives me more reasons to be angry or jealous or or hurt, like I'm being passed over somehow. Like, that's just me and my negative thinking and my depression popping up, like I just am not good enough. And I am good enough, and I am grateful to God to reminding me that I am good enough, and that I can do this, and that things are working out the way that I need them to. And so it doesn't matter, because what I need is something different than what someone else needs, and what I have is enough for my needs. So I don't need to worry about what someone else is getting. So I was just really grateful for that lovely reminder when I was talking to my friend, and to see that shift in myself as I'm sharing with her my situation. And then I was writing in my journal tonight, and I had a trigger at work about something, and I didn't know what the trigger was about, and I thought it was about something else. And I got really emotional and at work, and I was trying not to be emotional, and I was trying not to cry. Another reason I was grateful I got to go at closing time, because I didn't want to deal with it. But I work in a doctor's office, and one of the patients there had a medical emergency and had to be transported to the hospital. And I don't know if this is breaking any HIPAA rules, so I hope it's not, because I'm not talking about the patient in particular. I don't know the patient. I just know the situation. So anyway, it triggered something that happened to me when I was a kid, and I didn't realize that, because my brain went to like, okay, why am I freaking out? And I'm like, oh, I'm freaking out because my sponsor friend passed away back in June. And then I'm freaking out because one of my writing friends that used to give me a ride to my writing group passed away last week. And so I have a lot of emotion going on with people passing away. And writing in my journal today, and I realized that when I was 5 or 6 years old, that my biological mom, we were at a doctor's office with my biological mom, and she got transported out to the hospital, and me and my siblings got left sitting in a doctor's office waiting for someone from church to come and pick us up. But it was someone that was friends with my mom. It wasn't someone that I was familiar with. And growing up, I learned as I got older that she actually had a daughter my age, and I'm sure that it turned out just fine. But when she came to pick us up, I didn't recognize her from church. I didn't know who she was, and I didn't feel comfortable going home with a complete stranger that my mom had arranged to come pick us up, because she had to go to the hospital. And of course, she was telling me everything was going to be okay, and everything was going to be okay. But I don't know if everything was okay. So, and it did eventually turn out okay. She'd had a surgery, I think for a hernia or something, and then the incision had gotten infected, and so they had to do another surgery to remove the infection, which then I know got infected again. So I think she ended up having like 3 different surgeries. And I don't know why she had to have 3 different surgeries all to fix a hernia. But I think the hernia got fixed, but all the infection that came with it. So, but I guess it was urgent that she had to go have that surgery because the infection was really bad. But at 5 years old, nobody bothered to explain that to me or to my siblings that were with me. We were just told, oh, it's okay, mom has to go for a ride, and you just stay here, and somebody that you don't know is going to come pick you up, and everything's going to be fine. And I was like, everything's not fine. But as I was writing in my journal, and I was realizing that God reminded me of this incident, and that this was a trigger for me today. I am so grateful that he showed me what I was being triggered for, or about, and where all of those emotions were coming from. And also just, it kind of made me realize that God wants us to understand how much he loves us. God wants us to understand his purpose and his plan for us in this life. He wants us to understand things that are probably beyond our understanding. But even at 5 years old, I could have been told that my biological mom, had an infection, and that she had to go have a surgery, and that, it was, but I don't remember any of that happening. I don't remember being I mean, she did try to reassure us and say everything's okay, everything's okay. And I say us because I always include my siblings, like they were feeling the exact same thing I was. And I don't know what they were feeling. I don't even know if they remember this event, but I remember it. So I know she was trying to be reassuring. And I know I wasn't the only one. I mean, she had 5 kids at that point, and I don't know if all 5 of us were there or just 3 of us, or I don't remember how many of us were at the doctor's office that the poor neighbor lady had to come get. And I don't remember if I was 5 or 6 at the time. So, and of course, our memories play tricks on us, so it's hard to like remember all of that anyway. But I do just remember that she was telling me it was going to be okay, and I was like, I don't know how this is going to be okay. But I think sometimes in life that God is telling us that things are going to be okay, even when we have no idea how it's going to be okay. And I also think that He wants to help us to understand, but He only gives us stuff on our level that we're ready to understand or capable of understanding, because He's not going to give us stuff we can't. Or if we do, it's because we asked for something that we're not ready for. And God will answer our prayers, but it kind of becomes a stumbling block. It gets in our way because we're not ready for that information. So it's better, I'm learning, it's better to trust in God and trust in God's timing, and that sometimes it is just gonna be okay, even when we don't know the outcome. And I can look back now and be like, okay, it was okay, but it didn't feel okay in the moment, because watching your mom be taken away when you're 5 or 6 years old and not knowing where she's going and not understanding why and not knowing when she's coming back is kind of scary. Not kind of scary, it's really scary. And then having someone you don't know show up and say, hey, hi, I'm your mom's friend, you're gonna come with me. And it's like, yay, I don't know you. I don't want to go with you. I want to stay here because mom's coming back. But that's not how it works. So a lot of things I just didn't understand, and a lot of trauma around all of that I just guess hasn't been resolved. So I guess it's a good thing that some trauma happened at work, or drama, I guess. It's probably more traumatic to the people that were actually involved in the situation and I was not, and it's probably just more drama to the rest of us. That doesn't need to be dramatic. But like I said, it was just a trigger for me. So I guess it's a good thing to have places where I get triggered with stuff. Not that I like being triggered with stuff, but it gives me an opportunity to write about it, to learn about it, to recognize it, and to work through it, and to see that I am okay, that the situation was okay, and that I can just let it go now because I'm an adult. And it doesn't matter now, and I can't go back and change that, but at least I can go back and understand it. I mean, I can't go back in time and understand it, but I can look back at what happened and I can understand it as an adult. But I needed to be reminded of the incident and realize that I was still feeling traumatized in order to understand what happened, and in order to let it go. So I am grateful for that opportunity. And as hard as that was, it's just kind of nice, and it's actually sort of freeing to just write about it in my journal and share about it in my video and be like, okay, I am free of at least one trauma from my childhood. And I don't know that I'm completely free and that it won't ever trigger me again, but at least I am aware that that's what was being triggered. Just an old memory, an old emotion, and not something that had to do with what was happening in the present. Although what was happening in the present could be scary and sad, but it's much easier to understand as an adult than it is a 5-year-old. So I am grateful that I'm no longer the 5-year-old having to deal with that trauma. But apparently I still have that trauma inside me that gets triggered by other things. So just grateful to be learning, grateful that God is showing me things and helping me to understand and helping me to deal with and process emotions and traumas and all of those things, so that I can be lighter and freer and happier in my life, and so that I can become the person that God wants me to be. And if nothing else, so that I do know that it's all going to be okay, just like it was then, even if I don't necessarily understand how or why it's going to be okay, or when it's going to be okay. Just that it will be okay. And so grateful for the lessons that I get to learn today, and grateful that I don't have to let it continue to affect the rest of my day or the rest of my life. Hopefully not the rest of my life. That would be crazy. Anyway, and grateful for those of you that are choosing to watch these videos. So if you like these videos, hit like, subscribe, share with someone else if you think they'll like it too. And I hope you have a great day full of gratitude and find ways to recognize God's hand in your life too.